Hello everyone and welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. I'm your host Remon Azab, aka Remon with TeamSkunk, and today I'm bringing you a much awaited 7-star character review. I'm going to be bringing you the 7-star character review of Geonosian Spy. I was going to originally do this review a while back when the Erodium pack was out. I was going to buy the Erodium pack and review him then. I'm glad I decided not to because they ended up releasing all the Erodium characters, or most of the Erodium characters, into Cantina, so I was able to farm him relatively quickly when they had the double drops a few weeks back, around a month back, and I'm glad that I was able to get him leveled up so I could do this review now. So Geonosian Spy is a great character. He does have some high damage abilities. He can synergize really well with other Geonosians. I have him pulled up on swgoh.gg, and we're going to take a look at his abilities there, and then I'm going to take him over into Galactic War and then into Arena, so we'll see what he looks like in action. Geonosian Spy, stealthy Geonosian attacker that can dispel status effects to deal massive damage. Now, Geonosian Spy, his speed at 127 is middling, not too slow, not too fast either. 16k health, though, leaves a bit more to be desired. He's not necessarily the beefiest character out there, but let's take a look at his basic ability, which is Feint. Deal physical damage to target enemy with a 50% chance to gain critical chance up for 3 turns. This chance is doubled if this attack does not score a critical hit. So his basic attack can inflict critical chance up, or can give him critical chance up for 3 turns, so that adds a buff for him for this ability, which is deal physical damage to target enemy if they have a positive status effect, and that's important. Dispel all status effects on Geonosian Spy and the target and deal 40% more damage for each effect dispelled. Otherwise, inflict evasion down for 2 turns. This attack can't be evaded. So what's great about this is he's going to deal 40% more damage for each effect dispelled. That includes his positive status effects and any negative status effects that you stack up on top of the positive status effect that your opponent has. But they have to have a positive status effect to get that bonus damage. But it's still really cool. He can do a lot of damage with that Silent Strike ability. Illicit Insect, this is unique. Geonosian Spy gains stealth for 3 turns at the start of each encounter, and whenever he scores a critical hit. Whenever a Geonosian ally inflicts a negative status effect, Geonosian Spy gains 70% turn meter. And this is what is really great about him. On top of the damage that he gets from his special, he also gets turn meter every time any of his Geonosian allies inflict a negative status effect. So 70% turn meter, it's not quite like B2, who has a chance to get 100% turn meter, but 70% turn meter is a lot, so he's going to get to go very frequently, and that's why you don't necessarily want to stack this guy up with speed. Speed is always important, but it's not quite as important with characters like him. He's kind of like B2 in that way, that he's going to get tons of turn meter regardless. But he's definitely somebody who's going to go quite frequently, so you want to, definitely Omega that ability, which gets him the 70% turn meter. And then, you'll get to go, all the time with his basic attack, which doesn't do a ton of damage, but it does give him buffs, and then that can be added to the damage or the bonus damage that you get from his special attack. Now, he's available only in Cantina battles, Battle 4D for 10 energy, and you can farm him there, so that's where he's available right now. Let's take a look at his gear. So, Geonosian Spy is not necessarily the hardest to gear, but he does need a decent amount of raid gear. From gear 8 to gear 9, he needs a MK5 fusion furnace. From gear 9 to gear 10, he needs the dreaded stun cuffs, an MK5 fusion furnace, and an MK7 Nubian security scanner. So he needs 3 pieces of raid gear to get to gear 10. And then when he's at gear 10, he needs a bunch of the new raid gear to get to gear 11. Unfortunately, he's not a priority of mine at the moment, so I'm not going to be giving him some of this new raid gear yet. But I have gotten him to gear 10, so that should be enough for the purposes of showing whether he's a viable character or not when he's at 7 stars maxed out. But what we're going to do is we're going to go over to my Geonosian soldier over in the Cantina, and we're going to take a look at his mods, and then we're going to take a look at some of his different stats that I've increased, so we can take a good idea of what, or get a good idea of what what I decided to go with for him. Now everybody's going to be a little bit different, but okay, he's at level 83, so I'm going to want to go ahead and get him up to level 84. Let's do that. Okay, excellent. So now let's go take a look at his mods over here. I've decided not to do his unique yet with an Omega, but that would give us 10% increased turn meter. So he's only going to be getting 60%. But I've decided to go with crit damage and crit chance sets for him. Again, speed is not necessarily a huge necessity for him. At 155 speed, that should be enough. He has about a combined 29k or 29.5k health and protection, which is not that much, but 216% crit damage. That's what you're looking for. That's great. He has a little bit of potency, which lets him inflict negative status effects behind an IG-88 lead. His physical damage is at 2702. So I was just going for primarily damage and crit chance with him. So pretty much that's the sets I decided to go with, and then the actual secondary stats. I wasn't necessarily looking for too much speed. I did go with a speed arrow primary to give him 30 speed, but crit chance is obviously in the secondary there. Now here again, crit damage with a little bit of offense and a little bit of speed in the secondary. Right here with the cross mod, we went with offense and crit chance as a secondary. Then with the circle here, I decided to go with crit chance as a secondary and protection, just to give him a little bit more beefed up. And again, crit chance here on the defense mod as the secondary. And then with the actual square mod, I went with offense and then a 111 secondary of offense as well, just to try to give him more damage so he can hit harder. And that's really the main focus here with him, was I was just trying to increase the damage for him. So let's go on over to Galactic War, and we'll take a look at the Geonosian Spy here in battle. Now I've gone with IG-88 Leader with Geonosian Soldier, Sunfac, Pog of the Lesser, and Geonosian Spy, so you can get a look at what the actual Geonosian synergy looks like in action. IG-88 Lead is great because he allows his allies to inflict negative status effects, actually damage over time effects, with a critical hit, and that gives the Geonosians the ability to give Geonosian Spy turn meter every time they inflict a negative status effect, because some Geonosians don't inflict negative status effects, like Geonosian Soldier, for example. So let's see how this starts off here. Again, we're not starting off too hot here. I'm not quite sure how viable this team's going to be in arena, so let's give offense up here with Pog of the Lesser. All right, now we're going to work on Stormtrooper Han here. Okay, now let's taunt with Sunfac. That'll inflict a negative status effect on Stormtrooper Han. So we're going to do a basic here with Geonosian Spy, and that will just chip away a little bit at Han, just trying to save the main attack here. So now we're going to do an AoE with IG-88. Okay, so he's dispelled him. So now we're going to go with his special attack here against Lando. We're going to see what the Silent Strike can do and how much damage it does. Boom, 40k. So you see, because he had a positive status effect, those negative status effects on top of him stacked as well to increase the damage, but he had to have a positive status effect to start. And as you can see, again, negative status effect, Geonosian Spy gets 70% turn meter. Okay, so now we're going to counterattack here. Negative status effect, Geonosian Spy gets 70% turn meter. So let's work on Geonosian Soldier here. Let's just get Geonosian Soldier off the board. Okay. Now we're going to do a special attack here with Sunfac. And he's going to counter. Okay, so now we've got some positive status effects again. So we can see here what Geonosian Spy can do with his special attack against Captain Phasma. Bam, 37, almost 38k. That's a lot of damage, okay? But again, the circumstance has to be correct. They have to have positive status effects. You know, how often is that going to happen when it's on defense? You know, how well is that going to hold out on defense? I doubt that the Geonosian Spy is going to do that very frequently. You're going to have to be controlling him in order to, you know, choose when to hit the right characters to get that kind of damage. But you can see he can wipe out a character. I mean, 40k damage is nothing to fraud at. But let's go ahead and take a look and see what he can do in Arena here. Okay, so we're going to go against the rank 1 team here. I don't think he would fare too well against a Shore Trooper team or a Sunfac team. B2 is really going to be his nemesis too, because B2 can dispel his taunt. I'm sorry, dispel his stealth. So we want to, you know, try to avoid B2 with Geonosian Spy. But let's get these guys out of here. Now let's go with IG-88, Lead, Pog of the Lesser. Then we'll go with Geonosian Soldier. And of course, oh, I passed him. Geonosian Spy. There we go. So let's get into battle and see how we fare here in Arena. Oh. This gentleman's arena rank is no longer valid. Well, I'm still going to try to fight the same team. So we're going to go against Jolly Roger here. And just take an attack against him. I think we'll have a decent chance against that team. So now we're going to have to see how this does. You know, obviously we're going to get buffs from Anakin here with that AoE. He's giving offense up. So they're all going to get buffs. Alright, so let's see. You see there, he basically just exposed the spy, and he's already down on health. So let's go for Anakin here with Geonosian Spy's Silent Strike. Let's see how much damage this does. Boom, 27k. Just knocked Anakin right out. That's pretty decent damage. Again, you know, he can definitely put a hurt in, and now he's stealthed again. So let's see, do we inflict a negative status effect here? No, we don't. Okay, let's do IG-88's AoE. Bam. Okay, and because of that, Geonosian Spy just got 70% turn meter. Okay, so let's keep working on Lando. We don't want him to double down again. Okay, so work on B2. Let's taunt with Sunfac. Now we'll keep working on a basic here with Geonosian Spy. Okay, and now we're going to get to use Geonosian Spy's special attack against Lando here and see if we can take him off the board. Let's see how much damage it does. Okay, 20k. It took him out, though. Wasn't a crit. So now we need to keep working on B2 to get him out, because every time we attack any of these other guys, he's just going to get a go. And we want the Geonosian Spy to be the only guy doing that. Okay, so Royal Guard is taunted. Let's go with a special attack here on him. Let's keep working on Royal Guard. We have no choice. Looks like IG-88's not going to make it here. Okay, so we dispelled Royal Guard's taunt. Now we can keep working on B2. Try to take him out. Just attack by attack. Again, 70% turn meter. Goes again. Take B2 out. Okay, that's the end of IG-88. Now let's keep working on Royal Guard. Okay, now we want to do an attack here on Ayla. Because he's stealthed, she's not going to counterattack him, so we're going to chip away at him with... We're going to chip away at Ayla with Geonosian Spy. That stealth is a great way to avoid the counterattack. Now let's try to do a special attack here and see how much damage it does with just a couple of buffs. Bam, 29k, almost 30k. It does a lot of damage. You know, Ayla's a pretty beefy character. So let's keep working on Royal Guard. This is coming down to the wire here. Okay, let's just keep chipping away, and we'll take him out of the equation here with this. Okay, so now let's just get Ayla out of the way. And again, it took some time here, and you know, I've lost most of my allies, but the Geonosians did win a top 3 arena battle, so that's pretty decent. Again, they're not the most viable team out there, I think, right now. They probably need another Geonosian, you know, with a really cool leader ability. But they're definitely cool. Again, you know, the Geonosian Spy can be a hard hitter for you. It just depends, but he has a lot of damage that he can do if put in the right circumstance, but it's just not often that that's going to happen. But again, if you guys have any questions, you know, please come on over to teamskunk.com and, you know, send me a private message. You just follow the instructions over to our Discord. TeamSkunk's always recruiting. We're looking for new members. We have over 30 guilds now. And we'd love to have you come down and join. We have guilds for any player level, from level 1 to the heroic AAT, so we can really accommodate anybody. But as always, you know, may the force be with you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.